Sorry for the little bit of, it's a time change for us, and I'm in school all day yesterday, so I would have got back to you a little sooner. I am going to try to answer what's going on with your energies and what I understand. This is coming through before we even start the reading, so I'm just going to tell you. Sometimes we have certain challenges that come up in our life, and when these challenges come up in our lives, they could be based on relationships, they could be based on our values, they could be based on our fears, it could be based on choices, it could be based on our belief system. And the reason that these things happen sometimes is we have regrets that we haven't resolved, or there is an energy of something that we are looking for an answer. So if you go and say to your higher source, God, divine, religion, contacts, it could be in any which way, but if something is calling out and saying, why is this happening? Things will shift in your life to teach you a lesson, is not to be reprimanded, but to give you the answer that you are seeking. We come into this having experiences in order for us to grow, to expand. And sometimes when things are happening and it's not happening in a way that life was taking us in a different journey, and this journey is starting to swallow you up and making you feel disconnected and not happy, life is going to give you more of that. If you are in a state of seeing how everything is falling into place and everything is being in a much better situation, the universe would give you more of that. How does that work? The universe is responding to a vibration, and the vibration is combined with not just your feelings, but the energy is emitted from a mixture of your values and your belief systems, any forms of challenges, and your feelings, and anything that you have been cognitively have learned from a very, very, very early life. So when we look at astrology charts, which I know your sister is very good at, those actually give you a little bit of a makeup of the generating of the energies that is part of your soul imprint. So why am I talking about soul imprints and this energy of your DNA and what we are inner energy in doing? Is because no matter what, the energy that I pick up and read to you is the energy that could be surrounding you, but how you actually are able to perceive and take it in is part of your evolution. I could go and do a reading. It could be completely bang on exactly what's going on in your life. However, are you blocked to go into that stage of knowing what to do? Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but before I get started, I am going to give you a little bit of a suggestion so you can move forward because I feel you're stuck. So I would like you to wrap your mind around this. Instead of saying, I want my wife, um, this this situation with my partner, or I want to see things fixed, you're too vague, and that means that things may happen in an unconditional level. And unconditional, we have to be free. In order to be love, we have to be free. In order to be love and happiness, we have to be free and be detached from anything that is attached outside of us, and to be within the love and the mirror in order for us to experience that love and mirror outside of us. But what happens is, most cases, there is that how do you merge them and you to come together. So usually it's because we have to A to Z, there is us going through a process of um, attaching, connecting, having the situation. Why are you being pulled? You're pulled into this lesson. Once you resolve the lesson, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't want to be with them anymore. And so that's why people choose your mind, change your mind. If she is wanting a divorce from you, it's because her lesson with you has been resolved. But once you make a certain conscious choice, you may all of a sudden activate another lesson with her, and then all of a sudden she wants you back. You could want her back, but then once you resolve the block or the decision and consciously make a choice, and all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with you. So why does that happen? It's all energetic. We are only pulled to those because of the fact that it is allowing us to expand by making a choice. And then when we make that choice, we can continue to accept the person in the unconditional place of love, which is always there. Love never leaves. If there is anything else taking place that is not love, you created that. I'm only explaining this because it's a really hard one when I see somebody going through a challenge. And so for me, love is always there. Love is always there. Love is like the air we breathe. We don't realize that oxygen is missing until we're gasping for air. The love was there between you two. You are just realizing there could be some form of a restriction because now you're gasping for some of that love. Once you start gasping for some of that love, you just have to figure out what is blocking the flow of that love to you. And that is why, before I go through this reading and tell you what I'm coming up with, this is all, for me, very importantly, to share with you. How do we change from a restricted choke to flowing love? We need you to start focusing on what do you want? And when you look at what you want, I'm not sure, my volume seems like it's changing. I don't know what's going on there. When you look at what you want, it's not, so instead of going and looking at, there's the forest, I want the forest. No, you want the pine tree to be beside the pine tree with all your baby pine trees. And so that's really what I mean by, I hope the sound is being fine because I don't know what's going on. It's just so weird. So Spirit's like, I don't know what's going on there because the volume, I'm watching the volume go up and down. It's so crazy. So, and then it stops. So that's why, like, it's so weird. It's not consistent with what's going on. All right. So when you look at how you are manifesting. It is based on, is this based on you and what you want, or your value system of what you've been taught, or what you think is right? And why I say that is you're being blocked. You are being blocked, and I'm just not sure if it's touching my volume. I'm just I'm just making sure. Crazy. All right. Maybe Spirit's just showing me that it's here. So it's really, really important for you to understand that if there's something that you want, is it really something that you need? And so when we go and look at our energy and what is really love, or what is everything else instead, because it's a lesson that you're working out. So I tend to tell people, how do I feel love? Especially if it's always there. So, and I don't know, we're doing a read, but I just thought I'm going to give you this chat first before we do this. If you understand meditation, I encourage meditation because for that period of time, you are detaching yourself from everything outside of yourself. And for a little while, you're looking at nothing else, feeling nothing else, experiencing nothing else for that moment of time, getting present, where you get to feel nothing else but this inner enlightenment, this inner glow, this love. All right? What I know as love. So when you get a chance to understand that by meditating, you are feeling this state of happiness, if you do it right, that is not connected to anything else. The reason this is so effective is because when we are pulled to somebody else, we think that's love. But if you feel that each day, and you feel when you are with that person, for example, do they feel the same? So why I say that is, when you are meditating and are one with Source, and or one with God, or one with your light, or one with your higher self, everything that is not love seems to no longer be so important to you anymore. When the Devil card comes up, it's usually a card that's going to come up because of attachment, which has nothing to do with love, but a karmic lesson that's in play. Usually if there is a karmic lesson, that doesn't mean the person is not your person. And it doesn't mean that it's not your divine counterpart. It just means that you just have a few lessons that have to be resolved yet before you and your divine counterpart can be able to be together again. You don't have to believe it's going to happen. You do not have to tell the universe you know it's going to happen. You just have to be able to understand how to sit still. You just have to understand how to be quiet and not resist, and to receive. So meditating is really simple. but it's a lot of work because nobody can just sit still for a bit because their mind activity or all of those lessons are out there and you can feel all of those. And because of the fact, it's kind of like this. Love is oxygen, for example, just hypothetically. Love is oxygen. Love is oxygen. So if love is oxygen and it's always there, you don't know that the love is there until it's restricted. But if there is a scent that enters a room and it's something that you notice, it's going to be more powerful. You're going to smell the scent. You don't respond to the oxygen. It's more important, and it is more for like towards love. But anything that is added into the mix, you're going to notice that, and it's going to like take your attention. Oh, I smell the flowers, right? But I love the flowers. I love the flowers. I want the flowers. I want the flowers. But as soon as they become in your energy, and there's a reason why I'm saying this. So most twin flames, this is where the energy dynamics are the kind of the same. Karmics are like flowers that comes in and you can really tell. The twin flames are you. And so because twin flames are you don't, a lot of times people will ask me, why is it that this relationship, is it karmic? Is it twin flame? Is it soulmate? How do I know? And this is the only way I'm going to answer you the best way I can, in the simplest way for people to finally say, aha. When you go within by meditating, and that means to silence your mind and be completely detached of everything outside of yourself. After 21 days of clearing all the cords and clearing everything and just allowing yourself to be still, you are only in a room with no interference except for you and that oxygen that you breathe. When you're releasing all of everything else, that is when you recognize who the soul is, contrast from that energetic vibration that you're living right now. Your twin flame would be like this to you. You as a child and you as now, your soul never changed. You in a past life, your soul never changed. Your soul is an energetic vibration of who you are. And your twin flame is the energetic vibration that's exactly the same. So people get confused because of their wants and their needs being met. It has nothing to do with any of that. Your essence is the part of you that has never changed. So who you were when you were younger is basically the experiences that you had and how you vibrated into having those experiences. And so you could find that things that frustrated when you were young, they could be mirrored in this person. Because of the fact is, why is it sometimes there's the polarity difference. So if you had challenges with money, maybe money may have been just a hyper focus for them. Maybe the fact that you are having certain types of ways that certain things were challenging to you, you would find that there's going to be a hyper focus on certain things there. It comes down to this. It's only when you give up trying to dictate to the universe how things are supposed to go that the universe responds to the lack of resistance. We put so much resistance by dictating and stating, no, it's going to go this way. It's that person. This is how it's supposed to be. What you are supposed to do is say, I want to be happy. I want to feel nurtured. I want to feel blessed. I want to feel this bliss every time I share these moments with someone else. I want to share this connection. I want to share this empowerment. I want to share the security with this person. I want to know what a true marriage is like because I have this secure relationship that we are able to be truth with each other. We empower each other, that they are not controlling me and I'm not controlling them, because we are unconditionally in love with each other so much that we can speak our truth, we can feel our truth, and we can experience our truth together. I see them maybe possibly from past lives, but you know what's more important is that I see them as me and me in them. And what is important is that their connection with me has connected me more with my divine spirit, my divine self, and my God self that's connected and given me my oxygen. My happiness exists because I lost me and they reconnected me by connecting myself to them. That grounds this energy into, that's all you needed. And knowing that everything else really is not important. And when you can just really say, I just want to be able to experience so much more happiness while I am able to be alive and experience the essence of not just in the spirit, because I could come back in another life. I could come back in all sorts of different lives. And the universe is saying, well, you could get that, but I'm trying to say this. Your life is not guaranteed right now in this human body. So you need to be clear and say, while I am in this physical body, spirit, God, self, what I want to request is that while I am alive, experiencing experiences right now as a person in this lifetime, allow whatever is not going to make me feel happy, nurtured, secure, safe, trusting, and seeing that I am living a wonderful life for everything else to fall away. And now I am ready to allow the best experiences to show up for me to experience them right now. And just know it's done. And don't look for, is it coming, is it coming, is it coming? Because then that means you don't believe. Just when you meditate, put that out there. Feel that. Believe that. And I will tell you, miracles will happen. Yes, I'm going to tell you right now, you gotta release the attachments. And how do you release the attachments? There's all sorts of different clearing ways that you can do that. And you know what? You're going to do what's going to resonate with you. Or you're going to reach out to who you trust who can help you with that. I do all sorts of different ways. It's really important. What is samadhi? Is what I just explained to you. Why do people that had crossed my path, who trust me so much and who love me so much? Because I taught them how to get back to the essence of themselves. I'm not saying she's karmic or he's karmic. I'm just stating that, and I'm saying that as a general text. We're so much needing to know who we choose to love is going to give us a guarantee that they won't let us go. And that seems to be conflicting because with life, we have lived many lives, which of all sorts of ways of letting go and reconnecting, and letting go and reconnecting. And you're being too vague by saying, I want my wife back. Well, maybe you could get her back, but you're not being clear when. And you're not being clear why. And you're not being, or your life back, or your person back, or your husband back. But I'm going to encourage you to take some time and look within. And like the air that you breathe, that you expect it to be there every single day of your life, at one point it can stop. And it seems really scary, doesn't it? So I'm going to ask you, if it's always been there, why would the divine choose to take away from you what is love? Because love is even more important than oxygen. So I'm going to stop this recording, and I'm going to start a new recording with this, just your reading. And I'm going to just attach this because I kind of want to save this. I think that was maybe important for more others who may need to hear this, and I don't want to reveal anything personal. All right, so give me a moment.